Sports
Ciao.
Talk in the Mancave. Once again, we are back, and guess who's back? The NFL is back now. So we are going to be talking more NFL finally. Finally, even though we didn't get to see any action, and we don't know what the teams are going to be looking like, but there should be less injuries, right? So, except for Sean Lee, of course, he's always injured.
He's already
No.
injured.
But let's talk NFL. Let's talk first of all the news that came out with Watson getting a huge contract. What does that mean to all the other quarterbacks and the Cowboys in particular?
Well, I think it started off with Patrick Mahomes, and that kind of forced, Houston to take a look at their quarterback and say, what is he worth? And he's a good quarterback. He's not a Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion. But now I think a lot of other teams are going to be pressured to have to pay their quarterbacks, and I'm afraid that Cowboys are one of those teams.
Yeah, it's possible. What do you think, Gilbert?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I keep telling you guys over and over again. I mean, the market is going to dictate what they're going to make. You don't have to be the best quarterback to make the most money. It just depends on timing and when you become that free agent. That's the bottom line, and that's been the history of quarterbacks getting paid. Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, is just timing. Everything is timing. You don't have to be the best to make the most. So I think they're gonna end up paying him, or if not, he's gonna be making more money than Pat Mahomes just with getting franchised.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, what are you thinking?
Well, Gilbert has been right all along. Where I think I was off because, I was thinking that it wasn't going to go up for the quarterbacks as much as it did because of the type of year we're having and stuff. But it seems as if, look at the contract that Watson got, now Dak's going to follow, and Dak will probably make a good amount of money.
So talking about Dak in itself, I mean, what if Dak doesn't make it to the Super Bowl this year? And maybe if he has a regular, just a good season, do you think?
Yeah, no, I think
they're going to pay him or release him?
Yeah, no, they're gonna revisit that. I mean, of course. I mean, it would just. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, I think that anything short to me, anything short of if they're healthy, anything short of the NFC Championship is a failure to me.
Definitely, for sure that. The Super Bowl, he doesn't have to make the Super Bowl to prove himself. He has to be successful in the playoffs. And that means having a good game even if they lose. Now, I would prefer, obviously, he would have to get a playoff win, one at least. Two would be better. He doesn't have to make the Super Bowl, but they definitely have to win the NFC East. No question.
And what do you think that if he carries, like, once again, the number one offense in the league and misses the playoffs again?
Those are empty numbers, Chale. You got to produce. I mean, it's all about wins and losses. That's what you get judged by. I mean, I'm really not a numbers guy, but if you lead the team to victory and you're a proven winner and you come through for the team, I mean, you got to respect that. That's what it all comes down to.
I am a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy. But sometimes some numbers are more valuable than other numbers. So you gotta take a look at those numbers. Like this year, he had a whole bunch of yards, but he wasn't the most efficient player on the team. He wasn't the most efficient quarterback. And when at times, like in that game against the Eagles that had a lot on the line, he played terrible. That was probably one of his worst games when there was the most on the line. So you got to take a look at that when considering paying a quarterback.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, without a doubt. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. First we have to see the season how far it goes, how many games they actually play, and what he produces. Because there's always somebody to step in. So you just never know. We'll see. There's always one or two players in behind them that may want to step in. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about something that we've done in the past, which is book it, and we have to book our wins. I think I'm the one that does the best in the book it's.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it took you like till the last game of the season to get something right, no?
Hey, but I got it right.
and I'm just thinking maybe you didn't.
Gilbert, why don't you start, man? Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay, the Saints are at home against what do they call it? Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I like the Saints. I don't think that the Buccaneers are going to get it going until maybe mid-season. they've never played together, so you're just putting all these parts together, all these guys, and they're just mixing them up, and they have zero chemistry. The Saints are proven at home. They're strong at home. Their defense is tough at home. I see them covering the 3.5 spread. So let me get my shotgun ready. Book it.
Okay, sounds good. Carlos, what are you booking this week?
I was looking at the week 1 matchups, and I saw that the Golden Arm, the Vikings, are going up against the Packers, and they're favored by 3. And usually it takes the Golden Arm a few games to warm up and have some games. So, and you know, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, and they're the underdog. So I'm going with the upset, the Green Bay Packers over the Vikings.
Nice. And what do you say?
Oh, book it. It's been a while.
There you go. I didn't know who you were pointing at, Dave.
That's usually a college problem, man. Come on.
It's been a while.
Okay.
All
Here
right.
we go. The Patriots, of course, had all these big changes and losses and brought in Cam and stuff. They're 6.5-point favorites over the Dolphins. I understand that it's the Dolphins, but I'm pretty sure the Dolphins will cover the 6.5 points. Book it.
I like that one. All right. And since I haven't seen any teams yet, like none of us have, we don't know what's going on. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They're 2.5-point favorites. They're going to cover. They're going to beat the Rams. I think you saw a lot of flaws in the Rams last year towards the end of the season. And I just think that the Cowboys have good weapons that they can put enough points on the board to win and definitely win by more than 2.5. Guys, if you're going to listen to somebody, book it. Listen to me, man.
I like the Cowboy defense.
Yeah, I don't know how they are. Well, we'll see how they do.
Yeah, and the Rams, I don't. Who do they have a running back now? They lost Gurley.
Do they still have CJ?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know who they have right now.
That kid from Texas, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
We'll see. As long as they stop him, man, we're good. Now, Carlos,
so the NFL breakout players. And anybody we want to watch? You want to talk about that?
Who would you want to watch?
Me personally, I can't wait to see CeeDee Lamb. It's because I look. See, I was kind of in the middle of the pick because I think we needed defense more at the time, and I didn't know if we needed a wide receiver. We paid all this money to Amari Cooper, and then Gallup was coming up, so I didn't know if we needed that much money to spend on a receiver. Now I know that he led the Big 12 in yardage, but the Big 12 doesn't play any defense. So I think, to me, the jury's still out. He may be good. I just need to see it.
The way that they're making him sound is like, oh, he's already a savior. He hasn't even played one snap, and he's already a savior and stuff like that. It was probably a good thing that they got him, but I want to see that. But from the Cowboys, what I really want to see is that if this receiving group is that good, and which at least the name-wise, it looks great on paper, I want to see what type of year Zeke is going to have. Because I started doubting him. I don't think he came in great shape last year. I didn't see him have those breakaway runs. I think he only had like 4 runs of 20-plus yards, if that was it. I really want to see the type of year that Zeke's going to have.
Interesting. Carlos, what do you think?
I'm going away from the Cowboys because I know you all love the Cowboys. But I want to see Joe Burrow. I want to see if he's the real deal because I think he is. I really think he is. I think he's like beyond his years. So I'm going to go, and I'm excited to see Joe Burrow.
Hey, remember that Andy Dalton, when he was with the Bengals, he went from the red rifle to the cap gun. So,
The red rocket to the red rifle.
so I mean, hopefully, I mean, he needs to surpass that status.
He did good. He did good with the Bengals.
Yeah, he did. But after a while, they started calling him cap gun.
He's getting old. He's getting old.
It's
But when he went from TCU to the Bengals, he actually performed better than I thought.
Yeah, he just never won a playoff game. But
yeah,
that was the thing. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
yeah. You know, it's those two players, CeeDee Lamb and Joe Burrow. Those two guys are the ones that I want to see. I want to see them play. I want to see how good they do, and I think they're both actually going to do really well. So
I hope so.
be interesting. Now, you know, you posted on Facebook, of course, nobody to see if any other teams that they wanted to talk about other teams, and everybody posted back. Rowley and some other guys were on there just saying Cowboys, 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 and more Cowboys and Romo and nothing about nothing, and that other people just want to badmouth the Cowboys and not talk about their teams. But that being said, man, what other teams do you actually want to follow this year other than the Cowboys?
Me personally, obviously, I want to see what happens with the Patriots and Tampa Bay. I want to see who's more successful without the other, Tom Brady or that coach guy.
Yeah, Belichick.
Yeah.
I want to see the just because the type of quarterbacks they are. The Arizona Cardinals, especially with the new running game they have, they got and then what's it called, and the Baltimore Ravens. See how they bounce back. Lamar Jackson has yet to to produce in the playoffs. I mean, the jury's still out on him too. He has a great regular season. It comes to the playoffs, and they usually figure him out.
Yeah,
Those two guys are really dynamic. So I'm curious to see how they come out this year.
Charlie, what do you want to watch?
I don't know, the looking for the Buccaneers, like something that we could talk about week in week out, because you could talk about Belichick or the Buccaneers, who's leading who, stuff like that. That would probably be the good thing, because my team is the Cowboys, and those are the ones I want to follow and follow closely. But if there's a story to be done, it would probably be the Buccaneers and Belichick. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I'm
I definitely want to watch them. I want to see Tampa Bay, follow them, and see how they do this year. So I'll probably be watching some of their games. But I do like Mahomes play, and I like to see him play quarterback. So I'm going to see a little bit of them as well.
Well, I'm gonna watch every game I possibly can. I mean, I'm gonna watch games and games and games.
It's also
But,
it's also crazy how last year there was no debate about it. Everybody was most excited to see the Browns play, and now they're not even in the conversation.
No,
No, not at all.
what is it? The 5 minutes of fame, or what is it called?
Yeah.
The head
well, they didn't even have 5 minutes of fame, pobrecitos. Yeah.
No, man,
They only they got talked about before the season, not even season started losing right off the bat.
All right, Dave. We got to go into NBA, Dave.
All right, well, let's get off the NFL, unfortunately, and let's go to the NBA. Gilbert, I know you are the man.
Oh man, right now
The man with the losing team.
Tell us about it.
I'm a little bit down from yesterday, but I'm not worried yet. I mean, it's the same script. I mean, they hadn't played in a week in about 6 days. They came out rusty. Kind of the same thing that happened between when they came out against the Blazers happened against the Rockets. It's a game of adjustments. It's one game. They said the same thing about when they lost to the Blazers. And they came out and they just came out after that and won 5 straight. So I mean 4 straight. So I'm not worried yet, but they need to be careful because the Rockets have a little bit more firepower.
Yeah, about your Lakers. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Gilbert, don't break those earrings because you may be wearing them next week also.
Yeah, I think I just broke one.
Yeah.
Talking about the Lakers.
I don't really think that the Rockets could be as hot as they were in that fourth, where they opened the lead up by 20 plus, I guess. And I really don't see them beating the Lakers in a 7-game series. I don't think they could be as hot as they were. There was a point there where every three that was going up was being made, and the Lakers just, I don't know, they couldn't take advantage of the inside.
Well, they couldn't.
And
They couldn't hit a
weren't
basket.
guarding the 3-point. How many 3-pointers were there open? And they just look at the guy shoot.
Yeah. Danny Green.
No, Danny Green started off, and then everybody let him down. So I guess he had that little fall too. Danny Green started off with a 3 and a 2, and I mean he scored 7 points quick, and then everybody just let him down. So I think he just felt, her heart was a little.
You all think they gave Rondo too many minutes?
Definitely. I don't think they're playing J.R. Smith enough. I think they're he's a spacer. No matter what, even if he's not shooting the shots, you gotta respect J.R. Smith. You just put him on the floor, and the defense is gonna spread out, and it's gonna allow LeBron and AD more room. I mean, who would you rather have? Taking him space, Rondo or J.R. Smith? I mean, at the corner. So I mean, I think they need to play Deion Waiters more and J.R. Smith more.
Yeah, I think I'm not
And
concerned. I'm not concerned about the Lakers' loss either. I think they're gonna figure it out and come back strong and win that series. But what is concerning is watching the Bucks be down 3-0.
oh, but they had trouble with them even in the regular season.
I understand
Even
that,
though
but we
they,
I
even
understand
though
that,
people
but
say the regular season doesn't count, regular season, a lot of times it shows you how people match up with people
I
and
mean,
teams match up with teams. And
I understand that, but we always say here it's hard to beat a team twice. This team has beat them more like 7 times already.
Yeah, I honestly I attribute that to coaching. The Coach Spoelstra from the Miami Heat has really figured out that you just have to pack it in and don't let him get to the paint and force him to shoot outside shots. And it's either a 3-pointer or driving to the basket and takes away the whole mid-range shot. And they just figured him out. I mean, he looks like he has the formula for the Bucks.
That's surprising to me because this dude Giannis is probably the favorite for MVP, and not only are they being out coached, but Giannis he's had some terrible games.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, he's getting exposed is what he is, and where he's getting exposed is that mid-range game. He does not have a mid-range game. It's either a 3-pointer or he dunks it,
So
and
who are your
that's what
picks
they're taking
now?
away.
Who are
What's
your
that?
picks to take this the whole championship?
you better watch out for the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi Leonard is playing really, really good. I mean,
Oh wait,
Bam is playing really good, and George has picked it up. Remember, I think last video we had said, I said if George doesn't play any better than he is, and I think he was depressed because of the bubble and whatever, and now he picked it up. Now he's playing, and he's really helping out. So, and watch out, Kawhi. When he has to take over, he does.
So
I think being in the bubble makes things a lot more even in the playoffs because the home court advantage, and nobody has a home court advantage. And like I said last video, some players play a lot better with no crowd, and that's giving these teams that weren't too good in the regular season, that's giving them a chance here in the bubble. And what I'm concerned about is that that's going to hurt the Lakers, and it's going to hurt these top teams like it's hurting the Bucks. And I think that the Celtics might be the best team right now in the East.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm going with the Lakers still.
Yeah. So what we're saying is Lakers,
Celtics.
Boston,
But I'm going for the Lakers. Yes.
Okay, Gilbert, what do you think?
Clippers
I
are
think,
nothing.
I think that in the East, I agree with Carlos. With the Boston Celtics, I mean, they lost against the Raptors because it was a bad coaching move. He was playing zone on an inbounds pass with 0.5 seconds. He should have just got man and forced him to take a tough shot instead of being able to get that inbound in. So, but I still think they'll win the next game and they'll advance. I like Boston over the Heat just because I just think they don't have a matchup for Jason Tatum. And in the West, I think the Clippers are the favorite, but I think the Lakers got a good shot. The Clippers are just deep; they're 12 deep, but the Lakers got a good shot to beat them, though.
Interesting. Okay.
The Lakers are going to be really tough to beat when they're on their game. Because last night,
Yeah.
they
So-
they weren't losing that much, and they weren't playing that great. And
So
then
far, do you guys like this bubble thing then? Is this a good thing?
I like it. I think it evens things out a lot.
Yeah.
I think that if you earn home court because of your record, you should be able to take advantage of it. So I wouldn't want to have it in the bubble again. I think that whoever earns the home court should have that advantage. And the Lakers earned it. The Bucks earned it. I mean, they should.
Yeah, I mean that's where the Bucks have struggled because they took away that home court, and so it's kind of like it's all even ground now. So I mean, there really shouldn't be an asterisk on it because the way I'm seeing the playoffs, I mean, it's like we're all on even fields. I mean, it's kind of like you can't really put an asterisk on this title.
I was going to say that. This is going to be the toughest one championship because it's all even. There's no home court advantage. And guys that don't play good with the crowd are playing good. And all of a sudden, teams are different.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a tough earned championship.
Look at the astronomical numbers that they're putting up. These numbers are like, I mean, they're unheard of, with Jamal Murray 50 points a game, Dame Lillard, what's his name, the other one, Spider Mitchell. I mean, everybody's putting up points that they never put up before. There's no crowds, so that might be helping them
I
out.
think you said it. Asterisk non-mono.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
There should be an asterisk.
You know what else? Playing in a huge dome with like a deep background.
Right.
It makes a huge difference compared to playing in a little place with a background right here, a wall right behind the court. It's a huge difference. I've shot in both. I'm pretty good in a gym, like with a small gym. I shot at a dome. I was shooting air balls just because I couldn't.
Oh yeah,
get the
definitely,
range.
Yeah, well, so maybe we are seeing the best team that's going to win here. Then
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah.
Although, you want to talk about the coaching, the Steve Nash hiring? You wanted to go into that?
Go for it, man.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to get y'all's opinion. There was a big debate this week about Steve Nash getting the head coaching job, and they said that it was white privilege. I wanted to get you guys' take on that. What do you guys think? What do you think, David?
What do I think? I mean, Nash was a great player. I know he doesn't have coaching experience, I think, other than just some advising and consulting that he's done. There's always going to be good people, good candidates. So I don't know much about why they chose him, other than he's a very good player, played for a long time.
Do you believe it was white privilege?
Yeah, but I don't know why they chose him. I mean, I don't know why they chose him. So
Well,
no idea.
I heard that there was better candidates of it. I don't know who the candidates were, but I heard that there was more qualified African American candidates than him. But I mean, it's Steve Nash, and he was a point guard who was basically like a coach on the court. Is it white privilege? No, I think it's like more. It's a different kind of privilege more than race. I think it's like he was an NBA player. We know how he is on the court. We know his attitude. Let's give it to this guy.
He was a great player.
I definitely think that he's a point guard, and as a point guard, your job is to get the ball to other players and to run offenses and to break down defensive. I mean, if anybody's going to break down defenses, it has to start with the point guard and the movement. And I think that he was such a great player that, in my mind, he should be a very good coach. And I'm thinking that's what they were thinking when they're getting him, But many times, great players do not make good coaches.
Yeah, Matt Johnson.
There's some coaches that were probably sitting on the bench that probably broke down the sport tremendously that were better coaches.
I think it all comes down to communication. If you're a good communicator, and they say that he's a good communicator, then that helps out a lot. I mean, that's why they call him the Zen Master, Phil Jackson, is because he was a great communicator. He would put all the egos together, and that's what they're kind of hoping for in Brooklyn. I know he worked a lot with Kevin Durant in Golden State as a player development coach, and he's a point guard, so he can relate to Kyrie Irving. So I think the main players from the Brooklyn Nets kind of handpicked him. I don't think he was white privilege. I think that a lot of the African American coaches have gotten jobs, and they just come straight from the analyst booth, like Mark Jackson, Isaiah Thomas. There's a couple of other, Derek Fisher. There's a couple of other ones. So it's kind of like, they're going with their gut. I just think that you can't really kind of put race into it.
It comes down to the interview. You interview and you get a gut feeling. You got a gut. Yeah.
Avery Johnson also became a head coach right after playing.
Right. Yeah. But I think he paid his dues though as an assistant.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that's an interesting move. I think the NBA is looking good this year as far as I don't know how their numbers are on ratings, but it's going to be a good championship, and I think there shouldn't be an asterisk to this one.
There's some really good games going on. I mean, of course, like some of them aren't that great, but you see the Clippers, they blew out the I want to watch something that's tight, that's going back and forth, up by 5, down by 2, and things like that.
There's been some great games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there has been some really, really good ones, so
yeah,
people should watch.
But I'm just happy the NFL is back, to tell you the truth.
You're a football guy.
That's all. I'm a football
Football.
guy, man. I love
Gilbert's
my football.
basketball, football.
Guys, any closing comments? I think next week we are probably going to have Dead Man Walking after week 1.
That would be good.
Yeah, but any closing comments?
Andy Gregor, who's the guy that came back for the 4th time?
Oh, Randy Gregory.
Hank.
Randy
Gregory.
That's what we'll talk about soon. Exciting. There's going to be a boxing match. Lomachenko is going to fight what's his name? I forgot his name, but he's really good, and we need to talk about that next time.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do that. And De La Hoya coming back, and
Wow.
and Tyson coming back, and everybody's coming back. Everybody that's 60 years old is coming back, man. I tell you.
Gosh.
Joe Louis.
Joe Louis is coming back from the yes.
From the grave.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, nice talking to you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you all later, man.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Take care. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Super late.
Thank you.
Arrivederci.
Just doing.